Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started.
Roman Reigns is undoubtedly one of the biggest megastars WWE has ever produced. He continues to evolve under the company's wing. The 40-year-old superstar gained major popularity over the past 5 years as he developed his iconic tribal chief persona, which not only helped him grow but also benefited the promotion. However, since the OTC lost his undisputed WWE Championship to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania XL, his momentum rapidly derailed. In this article, we will examine 3 clear signs that suggest the CCO Triple H is ruining Roman Reigns. 3. Making him fight a losing battle. The OTC hasn't competed in any major match. The last major bout Reigns competed in was at Raw's debut on Netflix against Solo Sikoa to determine the real tribal chief and the possession of the Ulufala. However, since the Bloodline saga ended, Reigns hasn't been on the right path and has been fighting a losing battle. He finally got a win at SummerSlam after a long wait, but it wasn't easy, as Jey Uso was the one to pin and capture the win, making him look secondary to his former right-hand man and tarnishing his tribal chief persona. 2. Roman Reigns is being written off with the same angles. For quite some time, Reigns has been working a part-time WWE schedule, which has already shaken his position as the top face of the company. To make matters worse, the Triple H-led creative team has been using similar angles to write him off. The OTC gets in matches at major PLE, gets beaten up, goes on leave, and returns to reclaim and repeat the same. 1. Didn't get a championship rematch. Roman Reigns had one of the most iconic title reigns in sports entertainment history, and with that, he has cemented his place as one of the greatest WWE champions of all time. However, oddly, he never got his rematch for the undisputed WWE Championship since losing his title to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 40. Meanwhile, Triple H gave the American Nightmare a rematch for the gold right after losing it to John Cena, and he has now regained his title by defeating the last real champion at SummerSlam 2025. While all these points show how the game and the creatives are ruining Roman Reigns' standing in the company, no one can deny that fans still give a massive response whenever the OTC appears on television. It will be interesting to see if the Stamford-based promotion fixes issues with the 40-year-old star. Only time will tell. For years, Roman Reigns has been WWE's crown jewel, the tribal chief, the face of the company, and the man who has carried the blue brand on his back. Since his shocking heel turn in 2020 and his alliance with Paul Heyman, Roman has been practically untouchable, delivering one of the most dominant world title runs in wrestling history. But in recent months, a noticeable shift has left fans questioning whether WWE's chief content officer, Triple H, is quietly dismantling everything that made Roman's reign so special. From questionable booking to a lack of protection, the writing on the wall is becoming impossible to ignore. Here are 3 clear signs that Triple H may be ruining Roman Reigns. 1. The overexposure of the Bloodline civil war without a proper payoff. For nearly 4 years, the Bloodline storyline was pro wrestling perfection. Every twist and betrayal felt earned, every victory elevated Roman's mythical aura, and every interaction drew ratings. But lately, Triple H's creative approach has shifted, and not in Roman's favor. Instead of building towards a massive, satisfying climax to the Bloodline saga, we've seen a bloated string of side feuds, loosely connected betrayals, and rushed plot threads. Solo Sikoa's sudden takeover attempt of the faction, while intriguing, has been played out without the proper stakes, and Roman himself has been sidelined for stretches of television in a way that kills momentum. Worse yet, the matches that should have been seismic career moments for Roman's opponents have been reduced to quick chapters in an overstuffed book. Jey Uso's exit from the Bloodline last year was marketed as a final battle, but within months, the focus shifted to other Bloodline recruits and internal drama, leaving Roman's role feeling secondary in his own story. By dragging this civil war angle without delivering the long-promised face-off between Roman and his would-be successor, Triple H risks exhausting fans. Rather than enhancing Roman's legacy, it creates the impression that his title run is stalling, with no real endgame in sight. 2. Protecting other stars at Roman's expense. One of the hallmarks of Vince McMahon's booking style was that Roman Reigns, no matter the situation, always came out looking like the guy. Whether fans loved him or hated him, he was protected at all costs. He rarely lost clean, rarely looked weak, and every beatdown he took was followed by a moment of dominance. Under Triple H, that protection has faded. At recent high-profile events, Roman has been booked to look vulnerable in ways that don't serve the larger story. Take the most recent SummerSlam, for example. Instead of a decisive tribal chief moment, we saw Roman eating multiple finishers from a mid-card level star before barely escaping with a win. The psychology didn't paint Roman as the mastermind or the indestructible force he's supposed to be, it made him look like a champion surviving by sheer luck. Even worse, newer stars are being pushed in ways that overshadow Roman's presence. While fresh talent is vital for WWE's future, doing it at the expense of Roman's credibility undermines years of careful storytelling. Instead of a slow, calculated passing of the torch, we're seeing situations where Roman feels like an afterthought in matches that should be centered on him. The tribal chief mystique was built on dominance and intimidation. Triple H's booking has, at times, stripped that away in an attempt to make the playing field more even, which may sound good in theory but dilutes the aura that made Roman special in the first place. 3. The failure to capitalize on Roman's rare appearances. One of the most brilliant aspects of Roman Reigns' current run was his transformation into a special attraction. By wrestling fewer matches and appearing only when it mattered most, Roman became WWE's equivalent of a must-see blockbuster. When the tribal chief showed up, you knew it was an event. However, that magic only works if his rare appearances are impactful. Under Triple H's direction, Roman's returns have too often been wasted on repetitive promos or filler segments that don't push the story forward. Fans waited weeks for Roman's post-WrestleMania appearance, only to see him caught up in another backstage confrontation that felt eerily similar to ones from months before. At another premium live event, Roman was given a 15-minute talking segment, but no match, no major announcement, and no memorable plot twist. These kinds of creative missteps make Roman's absences feel like lost time instead of intentional build-up. When you limit a top star's exposure, every minute they're on screen should matter. But lately, Roman's appearances feel like placeholders, robbing fans of the anticipation and payoff that his schedule once promised. Why it matters. Roman Reigns isn't just another main eventer, he's the backbone of WWE's current global success. His presence sells merchandise, boosts ratings, and keeps premium live events in high demand. If Triple H continues to mishandle Roman's booking, the ripple effect could damage WWE's momentum across the board. In wrestling, perception is everything. If the audience stops seeing Roman as a once-in-a-generation champion and starts seeing him as just another guy with a belt, the mystique disappears, and it's incredibly hard to get back. The path to redemption. To fix this, Triple H needs to go back to what made the Tribal Chief era so powerful. Tight, purposeful storytelling, no more dragging out feuds without clear direction. The Bloodline saga needs a focused endgame, whether that's Roman facing Solo Sikoa, Cody Rhodes, or another true heir. Strong, decisive wins, protect Roman's image by letting him dominate key matches, even if it means other stars take a loss. Impactful appearances, every Roman Reigns promo, match, or return should have a hook that leaves fans buzzing until the next time he's seen. If handled correctly, Roman could exit this chapter with his legacy stronger than ever, but the clock is ticking. Final word. Triple H is known for playing the long game, but the danger with long-term booking is that the audience can lose patience before the payoff arrives. Roman Reigns deserves better than to have his legendary run fizzle out due to overcomplication and under-delivery. Whether it's intentional or just a case of creative mismanagement, the signs are clear, the Tribal Chief's empire is cracking, and if Triple H doesn't course correct soon, the reign that once felt unstoppable might end with a whimper instead of a roar. If you want, I can also follow this up with a more fan outrage style version that reads like heated social media posts reacting to Triple H's booking of Roman. That would make it even spicier for drama effect. Would you like me to do that next?